Have you ever felt like something was different about you, like you're meant for something more, something bigger than what the world tells you? Maybe you've had moments where you felt like you were born to break through barriers, that somehow the universe was nudging you toward a purpose that others couldn't understand. But what if this feeling, this deep knowing, is not just a coincidence? What if you are one of the chosen ones, the ones who were meant to rise above the ordinary, the ones who were meant to shape reality itself? For a long time, I too wrestled with this sensation, trying to understand why the world seemed to react to me differently, why things would always fall into place, and why I was drawn to a path so unique. But the truth is, that feeling was never an accident. It was a calling, a recognition from the universe itself. The chosen ones are not just ordinary people. They are forces of nature designed to influence, to create, to transform the world around them. I want to take you on a journey, your journey, where you'll discover the hidden power inside you. The power that bends reality, that shapes fate, that makes everything you touch transform. It's not just a gift, it's a responsibility. This power the universe has been waiting for you to recognize. It's been with you all along, sometimes in the shadows, sometimes in bursts of clarity, and now it's time to bring it to the light. If you feel like you've always been a little different, if you sense that you have an untapped force within you, know that this isn't a coincidence. You are part of something much larger than yourself. This is your time, and it's no accident that you're reading these words. The universe has a message for you. You are the chosen one, and now it's time for you to embrace that truth. The awakening, realizing you are the chosen one. It often starts quietly, just a whisper, a flicker in your heart, a subtle nudge from the universe that tells you you're meant for more. For years, I ignored it, telling myself that maybe I was just like everyone else, maybe this was all in my head. But deep down, I knew. There were moments in my life when I felt something more, like an invisible hand guiding me, pulling me towards something greater. The first time I truly realized that I was different, that I was one of the chosen ones, was during a dark period in my life. I had hit rock bottom, unsure of my next step, questioning everything I had believed up until that point. That was when the universe, in its own mysterious way, sent a sign. It wasn't loud or dramatic, but it was unmistakable. The pieces of my life began to fall into place, not because of luck, but because the universe was aligning itself to me. I began to see patterns, subtle synchronicities that were too perfect to ignore. Doors opened where there had been walls, and I realized that life wasn't random. It had been preparing me for this very moment. It was like I was on the cusp of a transformation, and I had to decide whether or not I was going to answer the call. That's when the truth hit me. I wasn't just another person floating through life. I was meant for something greater, something more powerful. I was one of the chosen ones, and it was time for me to awaken to that truth. The awakening is often a quiet one. It's not a sudden explosion, but a gradual realization. It's when you start noticing the signs, when you begin to see that everything in your life has led you to this point. You're not just here by chance. There is a deeper purpose behind everything you've gone through. The struggles, the pain, the moments of doubt, they were all part of your awakening. They were preparing you to step into the role you were always meant to play. Once you accept this truth, everything changes. You stop seeing yourself as just one person in a sea of billions. You start to see yourself as a force, a creator. You start to understand that your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions are not just for you. They ripple out into the universe, shaping the world around you. You are no longer just a passenger in this life. You are the driver, and it's time for you to take the wheel. The nature of your power, mastering the forces of creation. Now that you've realized your potential, it's time to understand the true nature of the power that lies within you. This isn't just about willpower or motivation. This is something far deeper. This is the power to shape reality itself. And it's not just a power you have, it's a power you are. Your energy, your presence, is a force of creation. I remember when I first grasped the magnitude of this truth. I had spent years working on my goals, chasing success, and trying to make things happen. But it was only when I realized that the power to create wasn't external, it was within me, that everything changed. You see, the universe doesn't work the way most people think. It's not something separate from us, something we have to fight against. It's a reflection of us. Every thought, every belief, every intention we put out into the world shapes it in return. The universe responds to us not because it's reacting to external circumstances, but because it's reflecting our inner state. Once I understood this, I began to notice how my reality shifted. When I thought positively, opportunities flowed to me. When I believed in my own power, the universe seemed to align itself in my favor. The more I aligned with my highest self, the more the world around me transformed to match that energy. And that's when I realized this is not just about manifesting things or having dreams come true. This is about understanding that everything you want is already inside you, waiting for you to bring it into existence. The power to create is in the thoughts you choose, the actions you take, and the energy you put out into the world. It's in the belief you have in yourself and in your ability to shape the world around you. And the more you align with your true self, the more powerful you become. The forces of creation are not something separate from you. They are part of you. You are not just part of the universe. You are the universe in motion, shaping itself through you. The magnetic force, drawing opportunities to you. One of the most powerful aspects of being a chosen one is the magnetic force that you possess. When you are in alignment with your purpose, when you know your worth, you begin to draw opportunities to you effortlessly. It's as though the universe recognizes your energy and begins to shift circumstances in your favor. I've always been amazed by how things seem to fall into place when you're in the right flow. There were times when I'd be uncertain about the next step, but I trusted the process. I trusted that when I stayed true to myself, the right opportunities would come at the right time, and sure enough, they did. I began to notice that when I walked into a room, people's eyes would gravitate toward me. When I set my intentions, things would happen. It wasn't magic. It was the universe responding to the energy I was putting out. The more I embraced my power, the more magnetic my presence became. It's not about forcing things to happen. It's about being in alignment with your true self and allowing the world to respond to you. Opportunities are drawn to your energy like planets orbiting a star. When you radiate confidence, when you know that everything you need is already on its way to you, the universe opens up. But here's the key: you don't chase opportunities, you attract them. You don't wait for permission or approval, you claim what's already yours. When you are truly in alignment with your purpose, you stop chasing. Things, people, and opportunities come to you because they recognize your energy. They are magnetized by your presence, drawn into your orbit. This is the power of being a chosen one. You don't need to fight for success or validation. You attract it through your energy. The more you embrace your power, the more opportunities will come to you. The universe is always ready to give you what you need when you are ready to receive it. Embracing your purpose, aligning with the universe. There was a moment in my life when everything seemed to align perfectly, as though the universe itself was speaking to me. I remember standing in front of a mirror, wondering if I was truly ready for the next step. It wasn't just a physical reflection I saw, it was a deeper reflection of who I had become. I had reached a turning point, a place where I had to decide whether to continue on the path I was on or to embrace something greater, something that felt as though it had been calling me for as long as I could remember. The universe was guiding me, but I had to take the leap. I knew that embracing my purpose meant stepping into a new chapter of my life, where every decision, every action would align with a greater force. At that moment, I realized that embracing my purpose wasn't just about me. It was about aligning with something larger than myself. It was about understanding that my purpose wasn't just a goal to achieve. It was a force that was already moving through me, ready to shape the world. It was when I began to trust the universe, to trust that I was exactly where I needed to be, that everything started to fall into place. It was as if the entire universe was cheering me on, guiding me toward my destiny. And that's when I understood the most powerful truth. When you align with your purpose, everything shifts. Life becomes a flow, a stream of events that no longer feel like random occurrences. The universe starts to move with you, not against you. the resistance fades away, and you start to see how every experience, every challenge, every triumph has prepared you for this moment. Aligning with your purpose means trusting that you are exactly where you need to be and that the universe will continue to unfold in your favor. It's not about chasing success. It's about trusting the process. The universe is constantly guiding you, and when you surrender to that guidance, you begin to see that everything is working in your favor. Your purpose is not just a destination. It's a journey that the universe is helping you navigate every step of the way. And when you embrace it, you step into the flow of your true power, overcoming doubts and obstacles, transforming challenges into power. Every chosen one faces doubt. It's part of the journey. I remember a time in my life when I felt completely overwhelmed by the obstacles in front of me. It felt like the world was conspiring against me, like I was stuck in a cycle of setbacks. But even in the darkest moments, I could feel a quiet voice within me, telling me that I had the strength to overcome anything in my path. It wasn't the loud, confident voice of someone who had it all figured out. It was the subtle, steady voice of my higher self. And so I decided to listen. I started to shift my perspective. I realized that the obstacles I was facing were not roadblocks, they were stepping stones. Each challenge was an opportunity for me to grow, to transform, to become stronger. I began to see every setback not as a failure, but as a test of my resilience, my determination, and my ability to trust the process. And with each test, I grew more powerful. The challenges I once feared no longer held power over me. Instead, I learned to use them. I used them as fuel to propel me forward. The world may throw obstacles in your path, but it can never stop you from moving forward unless you allow it. I realized that every challenge was not something to fear. It was something to embrace. Each challenge brought me closer to the person I was meant to be. And when I started transforming my challenges into power, I noticed something remarkable. The universe started responding. It was as though the world around me recognized my strength and decided to test it, pushing me to become even more powerful. The obstacles became less daunting, and the path ahead became clearer. Every step I took, even in the face of adversity, was a step toward my purpose. And now, I stand stronger, more confident, and more certain of my ability to overcome anything that comes my way. Challenges are not something to avoid. They are the raw material that you use to build the life you are meant to live. Embrace them, learn from them, and transform them into your greatest source of power. Because in every challenge lies the seed of growth, and when you recognize that, nothing can stand in your way. The universal response, how the universe favors you. There's a moment in every chosen one's journey when they realize that they are not alone. The universe is not a distant entity, but a constant, active presence in their life. I'll never forget the first time I truly understood how the universe responds to me. It was a time when I was unsure of my next step, caught in the uncertainty of my decisions. I had been working hard, giving my all to every project, every goal, but nothing seemed to be working the way I wanted. I remember feeling like I was on the edge of something big, but I didn't know how to cross that final gap. Then, something unexpected happened. I was walking down the street, just lost in thought, when I received a phone call that changed everything. The call wasn't about a new job, a promotion, or an opportunity I had been actively seeking. It was an opportunity that seemed to come out of nowhere, like a gift from the universe. It was in that moment that I realized the universe doesn't just watch you struggle, it actively seeks to respond to your energy. When you are in alignment with your true self, when you trust the process, the universe begins to favor you in ways you cannot even imagine. It's not always about waiting for things to fall into place. It's about recognizing that everything around you is responding to your energy. Every person you meet, every situation you find yourself in, every decision you make, it's all a part of the universe's response to you. Once I began to see this, I started to notice how things fell into place. The people I needed to meet showed up at the right time. The opportunities I had been waiting for were right in front of me, but I had to be open to receiving them. The universe favors those who trust it. It rewards alignment with purpose and authenticity. When you begin to trust yourself, to trust the process, You'll begin to see how everything around you is in perfect harmony with your desires. The universe is not your enemy, it is your greatest ally. It seeks to serve you, to help you fulfill your purpose, and to bring your vision to life. Trust it, and you will see how it responds to your every thought, every action, and every intention. Becoming the creator, understanding your role in the cosmos. One of the most profound realizations I've had on my journey as a chosen one is that I am not a passive participant in this life. I am not merely moving through life and reacting to the events around me. I am the creator of my own reality. It wasn't always easy to accept this. For years, I believed that success and failure were just the result of luck or external circumstances. But as I began to understand my true power, I realized that I had been in control all along. I remember the day I truly grasped this concept. It was a quiet evening, and I was reflecting on my life. I thought about the times when things seemed out of my control, when life felt like a series of random events. But then, I remembered the times when I had consciously made decisions that led to powerful changes in my life. I remembered how my beliefs, my intentions, and my actions had created the reality I now lived in. That was when I understood, I am the creator of my own life. Everything around me is a reflection of the energy I put out into the world. I create my circumstances through my thoughts, my decisions, and my actions. The universe responds to me because I have learned to align myself with its energy. It is not a question of luck or chance. It is a question of understanding my power and using it to shape my reality. The moment I embraced this, I began to see how much influence I truly have. It's not about waiting for things to happen, it's about making them happen. I realized that I am not subject to the whims of fate. I am the force that shapes fate. Once you understand this, everything changes. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of life's circumstances, and you start seeing yourself as the creator of your reality. You stop waiting for permission, for external validation, and for things to fall into place. You make them fall into place. The universe is not a passive observer, it is an extension of your own consciousness. You are the creator, and everything around you is a reflection of your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions. Understanding this truth will empower you to step into your full potential and embrace your role as the creator of your own life. The power of self-worth, embracing your divine nature. There was a time in my life when I questioned my value. I looked around at others, wondering what made them special. What did they have that I didn't? Why did they seem so confident, so sure of themselves? The answer didn't come right away. In fact, it took years for me to understand that the one thing I was missing wasn't some external validation or acknowledgement from others. It was the recognition of my own worth. I had spent so much time chasing approval, seeking validation, that I had forgotten the most powerful truth. My worth comes from within. I remember a particular moment that changed everything. I was sitting in my room, reflecting on a particularly difficult period in my life. I had failed in many ways, lost friends, and even doubted my own potential. I felt small, insignificant, and unsure of my place in the world. But in that moment of quiet reflection, something shifted. I realized that my value was not determined by my mistakes, by what others thought of me, or by the external circumstances of my life. My worth was inherent. It had always been there, waiting for me to recognize it, and the moment I did, everything changed. It was as if the world had been waiting for me to remember my true power. I stopped looking outside of myself for confirmation and began looking within. I started to see that I was not defined by my past or my failures. I was defined by my divine nature, by the unshakable power that resides within me. And that's when I began to stand taller, not because of anything I had achieved, but because I recognized the truth of who I was. The power of self-worth is not about arrogance or pride. It's about understanding that you are worthy, not because of what you do or how others see you, but because you are a divine being with infinite potential. Embracing this truth will change everything. Once you realize that your worth is not up for debate, the world around you will start to shift. You'll stop seeking approval and start living in alignment with your highest self. You'll begin to attract the opportunities, the people, and the experiences that align with your true value. You are worthy, not because of anything outside of you, but because you are a reflection of the divine. And once you embrace that truth, nothing can stop you. The unstoppable rise, becoming the ultimate version of yourself. There's a saying that goes, "The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself." I used to hear this and think it was just a motivational phrase. But then one day I found myself at a crossroads. I had reached a point in my life where I felt stuck. I was doing all the right things, following the steps, ticking the boxes, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled. It was as if something was missing, as if I was holding myself back from reaching my true potential. That's when I realized the only thing standing between me and my ultimate version was me. I had built up mental walls, doubts, and limitations that were keeping me from rising to the level I was capable of. It wasn't the world that was holding me back. It was my own belief that I wasn't enough, that I couldn't go further, that I didn't deserve the success I was dreaming of. But I knew deep down that I was capable of more. And I had to make a choice, stay where I was or break through those self-imposed limits and become the person I was meant to be. I chose the latter. I started by confronting my fears one by one. I recognized the limiting beliefs that had been holding me back and began to replace them with new, empowering thoughts. I started to believe in my own potential, in my ability to create the life I wanted, and in my right to achieve greatness. The more I worked on myself, the more I realized that there were no limits, no ceilings. I could go as high as I believed I could. The only limits were the ones I accepted. As I began to step into my full power, I noticed something incredible. The world began to respond. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach suddenly appeared. People who supported my growth and believed in my potential came into my life. I wasn't just living in the world anymore, I was shaping it. I was creating the life I had always wanted, not by waiting for it to come to me, but by claiming it. The rise to your ultimate self is not a destination, it's a continuous journey. It's a process of shedding old beliefs, confronting your fears, and embracing your power. The ultimate version of yourself is already inside you. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about unbecoming everything that isn't truly you. The moment you shed your doubts and embrace your true potential, you will become unstoppable. You will rise beyond the limits you once thought were insurmountable, and you'll step into the life you were always meant to lead. You are limitless. The only thing that can stop you is your belief that you can be stopped. The legacy of the chosen one, leaving a mark on the universe. I've always believed that the greatest legacy we can leave behind isn't measured in money or fame, but in the impact we have on others. As a chosen one, your legacy is not just about what you achieve in this lifetime. It's about the lives you touch, the energy you share, and the positive changes you create in the world. I remember a conversation I had with a mentor once. He told me that true success is not about the accolades you receive, but about how many people you inspire and uplift along the way. I hadn't fully understood this concept at the time, but now, looking back, I see the truth in his words. When you embrace your purpose, when you align with your higher self, you begin to leave a ripple effect in everything you do. Your actions, your energy, your very presence begins to influence the world around you. You don't need to try to be remembered. You don't need to force your impact. It happens naturally, because when you live authentically, the world can't help but take notice. I've learned that the legacy you leave behind is a reflection of the energy you put out into the world. It's about living in a way that inspires others to do the same. It's about teaching those around you to rise, to embrace their own power, and to step into their full potential. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to have all the answers or a grand plan to leave your mark. Your legacy is created in the everyday moments, the small acts of kindness, the support you offer, the truth you speak. Each one of us has the power to create a legacy that will live on long after we're gone. The chosen ones are not meant to be forgotten. They are meant to inspire, to lead, and to leave a mark on the world that will continue to grow for generations to come. The question isn't whether you will leave a legacy, it's what kind of legacy will you create? Will it be one of love, of transformation, of empowerment? Your legacy is a reflection of your life's work and the energy you put out into the world. You are the creator of that legacy, and it will live on through the lives you touch. Conclusion: stepping into your power and claiming your destiny. As I stand here today, reflecting on the journey I've taken, I realize how far I've come and how much I've grown. There was a time when I felt lost, unsure of my purpose, and unsure of my place in the world. But through every challenge, every breakthrough, and every moment of self-discovery, I have come to realize something incredible. I am the creator of my own reality, and so are you. This journey, the journey of the chosen one, is not an easy one, but it is the most rewarding journey you will ever take. It's the journey of discovering who you truly are, of embracing your power, and of stepping into the life you were always meant to live. The universe has been waiting for you to claim your destiny. It has been preparing you for this moment, guiding you every step of the way. The time is now. You are ready. Step into your power and claim your destiny. The world is waiting for you to show up as the true, unstoppable force you are. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the right moment. You have everything you need inside you. The universe is on your side, and the only thing standing between you and your destiny is the decision to step forward. Embrace your divine nature. Embrace your power. And know that everything you desire is already on its way to you. It's time for you to rise. The universe is waiting for you to take your place as the creator of your own reality, the chosen one, and the ultimate version of yourself. The world is ready for the mark you are about to leave. The time is now. Step into your power and claim your destiny.